Alex stepped off the shuttle with a mixture of excitement and nervousness. The planet Xylar 9 stretched before him with colors he had never seen on Earth. The sky shimmered in shades of violet and gold, and the air carried a faint hum of energy, as if the world itself was alive. He had come for trade, looking for rare technology that could help Earth's growing colonies in space. But the bustling market in the heart of the alien city was unlike anything he had imagined. Stalls floated, in midair, suspended by soft glowing orbs, while alien merchants called out in voices that sang and buzzed. Shoppers of all shapes and sizes moved gracefully between the stalls, some with 3 legs, others with translucent skin showing glowing veins inside. Alex felt a thrill as he walked among them, trying to take it all in. He had always loved exploring, and this market was the ultimate adventure. He paused in front of a stall filled with tiny, intricate devices. Each one glowed softly, and some seemed to float just above the counter. A small sign written in alien script caught his attention. He used his universal translator to read it. Rare devices for daily life. That sounded perfect. Alex had been searching for an energy stabilizer for his shuttle, and he hoped he could find it here. As he leaned closer, he noticed movement from the corner of his eye. A tiny alien girl, no taller than his knee, peeked from behind the stall. Her skin was a soft shade of lavender, her eyes large and sparkling with curiosity. She had delicate wings that shimmered in the sunlight, and she seemed completely fascinated by him. Alex froze, unsure if she was real or some illusion created by the floating lights around him. "Hello?" he said carefully, bowing slightly. His translator repeated the word in a melodic alien tone. The girl giggled, a sound like wind chimes. She held up a small, glowing device. It pulsed with a warm light, almost like it was alive. Alex picked it up without thinking. It was beautiful, shaped like a tiny star, and it felt unusually warm in his hands. Before he could ask about it, the girl clapped her hands and gasped. Her eyes widened with excitement. She pointed at the device, then at herself, then back at him. The translator tried to interpret, but the words were broken. Companion, love, new owner, happy, it said. Alex frowned. I bought it? He asked, unsure if he had made a mistake. He looked around, thinking someone would correct him, but the tiny girl was staring at him with pure joy. Wait, Alex said, trying to hand it back. I think this is a mistake. I didn't mean to. But the girl shook her head vigorously. She seemed to bounce with happiness. She tugged at his pant leg and then tapped the device. The translator rendered, "Surson, no gift, bond, honor." Alex blinked. A gift, bond, honor? He had no idea what was happening. He had only wanted a simple tool, not whatever this glowing thing was. He looked down at the device. It seemed to hum softly, almost like it recognized him. It was warm, alive, and very curious about its surroundings. Okay, Alex said slowly, trying to stay calm. So, it's yours? He pointed to the girl. The translator replied in broken alien words. No, yours, mine. Together. Alex scratched his head. Yours, mine. Together? What does that mean? The tiny girl's eyes lit up as if he had asked the most obvious question in the world. She gestured for him to follow her to a small, floating platform next to the stall. Alex obeyed, still unsure of what he had gotten himself into. This is the companion? He asked, holding it carefully. It pulsed brighter in response, as if happy to hear its name. The girl nodded enthusiastically and made a sound that the translator translated as friend protector, happy heart. Alex raised an eyebrow. Protector? Happy heart? It was just a small device, but when he looked closer, he saw tiny limbs moving inside the glow. The device was not just a machine. It was alive. The girl bounced on her little feet. Name, she demanded. She pointed at him, then at the companion. Alex hesitated. Alex, he said. My name is Alex, yours, the translator responded quickly. Lyra. Lyra, Alex repeated. The tiny alien smiled so brightly that her wings sparkled. He could feel the energy in the air shift, almost like the world around them was celebrating. Alex held the companion closer. Its glow brightened and wrapped around his fingers like a living thread. It seemed to recognize him, and he could swear. It blinked at him. He was no stranger to advanced technology, but nothing he had seen before had felt so personal. What does it do? Alex asked. Lyra tilted her head and tapped the companion's chest. The translator said, "Love, joy, bond, guide." Alex laughed nervously. "Guide? It guides me how?" Lyra pointed to a floating map above the stall. The companion floated slightly out of Alex's hands and began moving toward certain items, pulsing in brighter light whenever it hovered near something. Alex realized that it was leading him, showing him what he needed in the marketplace. "This is incredible," Alex whispered. He followed the little glowing star through the aisles. Lyra bounced along happily. Everywhere they went, other aliens stared with curiosity. Some seemed impressed, others confused. Alex didn't care. He was fascinated. As they walked, Alex noticed Lyra trying to communicate more. She handed him a tiny fruit, glowing with blue light, and gestured that he should eat it. Hesitant at first, he took a bite and was immediately filled with warmth. The fruit gave him a strange, comforting energy, almost like it was connecting him to the companion. The translator said, "Gift of bond, taste of joy." Alex laughed, shaking his head. "I didn't even know buying a device could be this magical," he said. Lyra nodded vigorously and clapped. The companion pulsed brighter, as if agreeing with her. Alex felt a strange warmth spread through him, a connection he could not explain. He realized that this was no ordinary purchase. Somehow this little alien girl and her companion had brought him into a world that was more alive, more vibrant, and more connected than anything he had ever known. Hours passed as Alex learned the marketplace's rules. Lyra showed him how traders interacted, how the companions were treated, and how important they were in her society. Alex realized that what he had thought was a simple mistake was actually a meaningful gift. He had unknowingly participated in an ancient tradition. A human buying a companion was seen as a sign of respect, curiosity, and openness to alien friendship. By the time the sun of Xylar 9 began to set, the sky turning golden and violet, Alex felt exhausted but exhilarated. Lyra perched herself on his shoulder, the companion glowing softly in his hands. He had come for technology but had found something far more remarkable: friendship, wonder, and a glimpse into a culture that valued heart as much as skill. As they watched the glowing city below, Alex smiled. He had no idea what adventures the companion and Lyra would lead him into next, but he was certain of one thing. This accidental purchase had changed everything. And deep inside, the tiny companion seemed to agree, pulsing a soft, steady light, as if it had found exactly where it belonged. Alex woke the next morning to the gentle hum of the city around him. He was still on Xylar 9, and the glowing sky outside his small rented room made the room feel alive. The tiny companion, still glowing softly, floated near him, pulsing in a calm rhythm. Lyra was already awake, perched on a nearby table, her wings fluttering with excitement. "Good morning, Alex," she said, her voice melodic, though the translator made it sound like simple words. She bounced up and down as if she had slept only a few minutes and was full of energy. "Good morning," Alex replied, rubbing his eyes. He was still adjusting to the idea that a tiny alien girl and her companion were now a part of his life. "Did you sleep well?" Lyra giggled. "Yes, companion too. Happy," she said, pointing at the glowing little being. The companion floated closer to Alex, wrapping him in a warm pulse of light. He felt comforted, almost like it was telling him everything would be okay. Alex had spent the previous day learning about the marketplace, but today, Lyra wanted to show him her world in more detail. She grabbed his hand, pulling him out of the room. The companion floated beside them, its light brightening as if it were as excited as Lyra. They walked through streets filled with floating stalls, colorful banners, and aliens of every imaginable shape. Alex noticed that the companion reacted to certain objects. It glowed brighter near fruits, gadgets, and even certain alien toys. Lyra noticed this too. "Guide, show," she said, pointing to the companion. Alex watched carefully. The tiny alien creature led them to a small stall tucked in a corner, almost hidden behind a shimmering curtain. Lyra clapped her hands and pointed at a small device, shaped like a glowing cube. The companion pulsed brightly, almost jumping in. Excitement. Alex leaned closer to examine it. "What is this?" he asked. The translator replied, "Memory keeper. Stores stories, lessons, emotions." "Stories and emotions?" Alex asked, raising his eyebrows. He had seen devices that stored data, but a machine that could hold emotions and memories was something new. The companion floated toward the cube and tapped it lightly. It glowed in response, and Alex felt a tiny spark of warmth in his chest. Lyra nodded. "Teach, learn," she said, pointing at Alex, the companion, and the cube. Alex realized that the companion could not only guide him physically but also help him understand Lyra's world emotionally. He picked up the cube, feeling its gentle warmth. When he touched it, a series of glowing images appeared above the device. Scenes of alien life, celebrations, and daily routines danced in the air. He could feel tiny emotions as if he were part of the images: happiness, excitement, even a hint of nervousness. "This is amazing," Alex whispered. "It's like I can feel what your world feels." Lyra's eyes sparkled. She clapped her hands and pointed at him. The companion glowed brightly, wrapping its light around Alex as if welcoming him into a new understanding. As they continued walking, Alex noticed the marketplace was more than just a place to trade goods. It was a place where families, friends, and companions connected. Tiny creatures like the one he now held were common, but each had its own personality and purpose. Some were protectors, some guides, and others were purely companions, meant to bring joy and comfort. Alex laughed softly. "So you all just have these little glowing friends?" he asked. Lyra nodded vigorously. "Yes, love, joy, learn," she said. Alex spent the next few hours exploring with Lyra and the companion. They visited floating gardens, where plants grew in midair, glowing softly in the ambient light. The companion guided him to rare flowers with healing properties. Lyra explained that some plants were used in food, some for medicine, and some simply to brighten one's day. Alex marveled at the thoughtfulness of an entire society designed to balance life, joy, and learning. When they reached a section of the city where young aliens played games, Alex saw the companion react again. It pulsed brightly as children waved at it. The device seemed to understand their laughter and responded with soft glows and tiny spins. Lyra clapped in delight. "Friend, happy," she said. Alex couldn't help but smile. He had expected to trade technology, maybe see some exotic tools, but instead he had found a world full of wonder and kindness. And the tiny companion was at the center of it all, bridging the gap between him and this alien culture. As the day went on, Alex began to notice subtle ways the companion helped him. It guided him through crowded streets, nudged him away from slippery surfaces, and even hovered to show him the safest paths between floating platforms. It was more than a device. It was a friend, a protector, and a teacher all at once. At one point, they stopped near a small fountain that glowed with liquid light. Lyra perched herself on the edge, dipping her fingers into the liquid. The companion floated beside her, pulsing softly. Alex knelt beside them, watching in awe as the fountain reflected the colors of the sky, the market, and the glowing device. "Beautiful," Alex said quietly. Lyra nodded. "Home. Joy. Share," she said. She handed him a tiny glowing fruit from a basket near the fountain. "Taste, feel." Alex took the fruit carefully. As he bit into it, warmth spread through him again, like the companion's glow had entered his very being. He realized that food, objects, and companions in this world were all connected, designed to teach, comfort, and bond people together. It was a society that valued emotional connection as much as physical survival. Hours passed like minutes. Alex felt a growing bond with both Lyra and the companion. He had expected an adventure, maybe a few unusual sights, but what he experienced was far more profound. Lyra laughed and danced. The companion pulsed, and Alex felt an unfamiliar but welcome feeling of belonging. As the twin suns of Xylar 9 began to set, casting long golden shadows across the floating streets, Alex realized something important. He had come to this planet for technology, for practical tools to aid humanity. But he had discovered something far more valuable: connection, understanding, and a glimpse into a world where trust and joy were as important as survival. Lyra clapped her hands and gestured for Alex to follow her to a small platform above the market. From there they could see the city stretching endlessly, glowing with life and energy. The companion floated beside Alex, pulsing softly as if acknowledging the beauty of the moment. Alex took a deep breath. "I didn't expect any of this," he said. "I just wanted a few gadgets, and instead I found friends." The translator rendered Lyra's response. "Yes, friend, bond, adventure." The companion pulsed brighter, wrapping Alex in a gentle glow. It seemed to say, without words, that this was only the beginning. He had learned so much in one day, and yet he knew there was still so much more to discover. As night fell, the city lights twinkled like stars brought to the ground. Alex, Lyra, and the companion stood together, watching the market below. For the first time in a long while, Alex felt a sense of wonder he had thought only existed in stories. The accidental purchase of the tiny glowing companion had led him into a new world, a world full of joy, learning, and unexpected friendship. And deep inside, the companion pulsed in rhythm with Alex's heartbeat, as if promising that tomorrow would bring even greater adventures, laughter, and discovery. Alex smiled, feeling a warmth he had never known before. This was more than a market, more than a planet, more than technology. This was a connection that crossed species, cultures, and hearts. A reminder that sometimes the smallest choices could lead to the biggest changes. And as Lyra laughed and the tiny companion glowed beside him, Alex realized that this accidental purchase was the beginning of something extraordinary. The next morning, Alex woke to the soft hum of Xylar 9. The twin suns cast warm golden light through the windows, making the tiny companion glow brighter than usual. Lyra was already up, perched on the edge of the bed, tapping her fingers excitedly. "Today, adventure," she said, her voice full of energy. The companion floated beside her, pulsing rapidly as if agreeing. Alex rubbed his eyes and tried to shake off his sleepiness. "Okay, adventure," he said, smiling. "But where exactly are we going?" Lyra pointed toward the city gates, then up toward the floating platforms beyond. The translator interpreted her gestures: special place, learn, challenge, joy. Alex frowned. He had no idea what kind of challenge awaited, but judging by Lyra's excitement, it would be something unforgettable. They left their small room and made their way through the bustling market once again. This time, however, Alex noticed that some merchants and shoppers stared at them more than usual. The companion floated in front of him, its glow casting a soft light that seemed to make people pause. Alex wondered why, but he quickly got distracted by the narrow streets and strange floating signs leading them toward the outer platforms. As they reached the edge of the city, a gust of wind nearly knocked Alex off balance. He grabbed onto Lyra, who held her ground easily despite her tiny size. The companion hovered in front of him, pulsing rapidly to signal safety. Alex marveled at its awareness. Not only was it a friend and guide, but it was also protective. The floating platforms extended far above the city, connected by glowing bridges that swayed slightly. Lyra led the way, moving with ease and confidence, while Alex followed cautiously. The companion glowed brightly whenever he stepped near the edges, almost like it was warning him to be careful. "Careful," Alex whispered. "This is higher than I thought." Lyra laughed. Fun. Learn, she said. The companion pulsed warmly, wrapping Alex in a reassuring glow. As they continued, the platform widened into an open courtyard filled with strange statues, each one representing a different alien species. At the center stood a pedestal holding a glowing orb. The companion floated closer to the orb, pulsing rapidly, and Lyra clapped her hands excitedly. Alex stepped closer. "What is this place?" he asked. The translator's voice was steady. "Challenge of trust, courage, heart." Alex looked at the glowing orb. It hovered slightly above the pedestal, spinning slowly. When he reached out, the companion flew to his hand, wrapping its light around his fingers. A warm sensation spread through Alex's body, and suddenly he felt a strange connection to the orb. Images flashed before his eyes, scenes of alien cities, celebrations, and moments of joy shared among countless species. Lyra watched intently, smiling. "See, learn, feel," she said. Alex blinked. "It's amazing," he whispered. The companion pulsed gently, wrapping him in light as if guiding his emotions. He realized that this challenge was not about strength or skill. It was about understanding, empathy, and connection. Suddenly, the orb pulsed more brightly, and a soft voice echoed in Alex's mind, translated through the companion. "Only those with pure intention may proceed," Alex swallowed. "Pure intention?" he muttered. Lyra nodded vigorously. The companion pulsed brighter, signaling trust and encouragement. Alex placed his hand on the orb. A wave of warmth and energy surged through him. He saw images of Lyra as a child, learning, playing, and bonding with companions. He felt her joy, excitement, and courage. The companion glowed brighter, wrapping him in light as if helping him understand these emotions. When he finally removed his hand, the orb stopped glowing but left a small mark on his palm, a symbol of trust and connection. Lyra clapped and cheered, hugging the companion in delight. Alex smiled, feeling proud and honored. "This was a test?" he asked. The translator replied, "Yes, heart, courage, friendship, reward." Alex looked around, realizing that this place was meant to teach and strengthen bonds between species. Before he could rest, a sudden shadow fell over the courtyard. Alex turned to see a group of alien traders approaching. Their expressions were serious and their eyes locked onto the companion. Alex tensed. He had a feeling they wanted the device for themselves. Lyra's wings fluttered, and the companion pulsed rapidly, signaling danger. Alex stepped in front of her, holding the companion close. "Stay back," he said firmly. The traders advanced, speaking quickly in their alien language. The translator interpreted, "Give us the companion. It belongs to the city's elite. You cannot keep it." Alex's heart raced. He had never faced hostility like this on Xylar 9. He glanced at Lyra, who looked terrified but determined. The companion pulsed brightly, wrapping its light around both Alex and Lyra. It seemed to sense their fear and courage, giving them strength. Alex took a deep breath. "We can't give it to you," he said. "It's her companion. She owns, and I won't let you take it." The traders laughed. One of them stepped forward, his size much larger than Alex. "A human thinks he can resist? This device is valuable beyond your understanding." The companion suddenly darted forward, glowing intensely. Alex felt a wave of energy push back the nearest traders. Lyra gasped in delight. The tiny creature was not only intelligent and affectionate, it was powerful. Alex realized they had an advantage. He could use the companion to protect themselves and escape. He held it tightly, letting it guide him through the courtyard. The traders tried to follow, but the companion pulsed brighter and brighter, creating a protective light barrier that forced them to retreat. Lyra laughed, bouncing on her tiny feet. "Safe, happy," she said, hugging Alex's arm. The companion hovered between them, pulsing softly now as if reassuring them that danger had passed. Alex exhaled, feeling a mixture of relief and exhilaration. He had faced his first real threat on Xylar 9 and had survived, not through violence but through trust, connection, and courage. He looked at Lyra and the companion, realizing that their bond had grown stronger because of this challenge. "You're amazing," he said to the companion. The tiny device pulsed brightly in response, wrapping him in light once more. Alex felt a warmth he had never experienced before. It was more than friendship. It was trust, loyalty, and understanding all in one. Lyra clapped her hands, pointing at the glowing orb. The translator said, "Reward, learn, joy, future." Alex realized that the challenge had not only tested them, but also prepared them for adventures ahead. As the suns began to set, casting long shadows over the floating platforms, Alex, Lyra, and the companion made their way back to the city. Alex's mind was full of thoughts. He had come to Xylar 9 for technology, but what he found was far greater. A world of wonder, trust, and emotional connection. "Tomorrow," Lyra said, pointing at the glowing city skyline, "more adventure, learn more, fun." Alex smiled. "Yes, more adventure," he replied, holding the companion close. He felt a deep sense of gratitude and excitement. This tiny glowing device had changed everything. For the first time in a long while, Alex felt truly alive. He had crossed worlds, faced danger, and discovered friendship in a place he had never expected. The bond between him, Lyra, and the companion was growing stronger every moment. And as the night fell over Xylar 9, the companion glowed softly in Alex's hand, pulsing in rhythm with his heartbeat. It was a promise of more adventures, laughter, and learning in the days to come. Alex realized that this accidental purchase had not only brought him a friend, but it also opened the door to a new world, full of mysteries, challenges, and joy. He couldn't wait to see what awaited them next. The morning light on Xylar 9 brought a calm after the excitement of the previous day. Alex stretched, feeling the warmth of the twin suns through the window. The tiny companion hovered beside him, glowing softly, as if sensing his thoughts. Lyra was already awake, twirling in excitement, her wings fluttering lightly. "Good morning, Alex," she chirped. "Today, learn more, adventure, special." Alex smiled, rubbing his eyes. "Special? What kind of adventure is waiting for us? Today?" Lyra pointed toward the marketplace and beyond, then gestured with both hands toward the horizon. The translator interpreted, "Learn, choice, decision, heart." Alex's brow furrowed. "Choice? Decision? That doesn't sound like fun." "It sounds serious," Lyra giggled. "Fun. Learn." The companion pulsed brightly beside him, wrapping a comforting light around his hand. Somehow he felt reassured. Whatever was coming, they would face it together. They left their room and made their way through the floating streets of the marketplace. The city seemed alive with anticipation, the usual bustle accompanied by a strange energy. Traders, shoppers, and companions of all kinds paused to watch Alex and Lyra as they passed. The tiny companion glowed more brightly, signaling a growing sense of importance in their journey. As they reached the city gates, an unexpected figure blocked their path. A tall alien in golden robes stepped forward. His eyes were sharp, and his expression serious. Alex instinctively held the companion closer. "You cannot proceed with that device," the alien said, his voice deep and commanding. The translator rendered it clearly. "The companion belongs to the city council. You have no right to keep it." Alex's heart skipped a beat. We aren't keeping it for ourselves. It's her companion," he said, pointing at Lyra. The alien's gaze softened slightly, but his tone remained firm. "A human does not understand the weight of this responsibility. The companion is powerful. It must not leave this city without permission." Lyra's eyes widened and she clutched Alex's arm. The companion pulsed brighter than ever, wrapping its light around both of them. Alex realized that they were being judged, not just for possession of the device, but for their character and intentions. "I understand," Alex said slowly, "but she..." This is her friend. I am helping her. We mean no harm. The alien studied him carefully, then extended his hand. Then you must prove your intention. Show that your heart is true, and that you will protect what is important without selfishness. Only then will you be allowed to continue. Alex nodded. He had faced challenges before, but nothing like this. This was not about skill or strength. It was about courage, empathy, and integrity. The companion pulsed softly, as if encouraging him. The alien gestured toward a courtyard that stretched beyond the city gates. In its center stood a pedestal, much like the one from the previous challenge, but this one held a glowing sphere that radiated warmth and energy. Place your hands on the sphere, the alien instructed. You will feel the consequences of your choices. You must choose wisely. Alex exchanged a glance with Lyra. She nodded, her expression serious now, though still full of trust. He stepped forward cautiously, holding the companion close. Its glow brightened, wrapping around his fingers as he reached toward the sphere. The moment he touched it, images filled his mind. He saw alien traders offering him wealth in exchange for the companion, powerful collectors demanding it, and people trying to use it for selfish gain. He saw the fear in Lyra's eyes, the joy in her smile, and the bond between them that had grown stronger each day. The sphere pulsed, and a gentle voice echoed in his mind. Will you protect what is precious, or will you seek gain? Alex felt his chest tighten. He could not imagine giving the companion to anyone else. It was more than a device, it was a friend, a protector, and a symbol of trust. He glanced at Lyra, who was watching him expectantly. Her tiny hands were clenched in hope. I will protect it, Alex said firmly. Not for me, but for her, for both of them. The sphere pulsed brighter and warmth spread through his entire body. He could feel the companion's light intertwining with his heartbeat, as if acknowledging his choice. The images of greed and selfishness faded, replaced by visions of joy, friendship, and loyalty. The alien in golden robes stepped closer, a smile forming on his face. You have chosen well, human. You understand the value of trust, courage, and selflessness. The companion may remain with you and Lyra, for you have proven your heart is true. Lyra's wings fluttered wildly as she clapped. The companion glowed brighter than ever, wrapping its light around all three of them. Alex felt a deep sense of pride and relief. He had faced a moral test, and he had passed, not through strength but through honesty and empathy. Thank you, Alex said quietly, holding the companion close. I didn't know this would be so important. The alien nodded. Importance is not measured by size or power, but by the impact of your choices. Remember this, human. Your actions shape more than your own life. They shape the lives of those you protect. Alex looked at Lyra. She was smiling, her eyes sparkling with joy. He realized that the bond between them had grown deeper through this challenge. The companion pulsed gently, almost like it was smiling too. For the rest of the day, Alex, Lyra, and the companion explored the outer city together. They visited floating gardens, vibrant plazas, and quiet corners where light shimmered through, crystal towers. Everywhere they went, the companion reacted, guiding them and connecting them to the world around them. Alex noticed that the city itself seemed to respond to their bond. The air felt lighter, colors brighter, and even the other aliens seemed more welcoming. He realized that the companion's presence, combined with their genuine care and respect, was creating harmony around them. At one point, they came across a marketplace stall selling tiny crystals that pulsed with energy. Lyra picked one up and handed it to Alex. The companion glowed in recognition, wrapping its light around the crystal. Gift, Lyra said. Learn. Feel. Alex held the crystal carefully. As he touched it, he felt warmth and happiness radiating from it. The companion pulsed in sync, and he understood that these gifts were meant to teach, connect, and create bonds between people and their companions. As night fell over Xylar 9, The city lights glimmered like stars brought to the ground. Alex, Lyra, and the companion sat on a floating platform, overlooking the glowing streets below. The twin suns had set, leaving a soft violet and gold sky that reflected on every surface. Alex took a deep breath. "I didn't expect any of this," he said. "I thought I was just coming here for technology. Instead, I found friendship, trust, and something I can't even describe." Lyra leaned against his shoulder, her tiny wings folding gently. "Yes. Happy. Bond," she said. The companion glowed softly in Alex's hand, pulsing with warmth. Alex smiled. He had come to Xylar 9 by accident. He had bought a companion by mistake, and yet he felt like he had found something far greater than he could have imagined. The moral challenges, the lessons of trust, and the bond with Lyra and the companion had shown him a new side of humanity: courage, empathy, and selflessness. And as the night deepened, Alex realized that this was only the beginning. Tomorrow would bring more adventures, more lessons, and more chances to grow alongside his new friends. The tiny companion pulsed in rhythm with his heartbeat, promising guidance, protection, and unwavering loyalty. Alex looked at Lyra and whispered, "We'll face everything together, won't we?" The companion pulsed brightly, wrapping them all in a soft glow. Lyra nodded eagerly, her eyes shining, and Alex knew, without a doubt, that this accidental purchase had changed his life forever. The city of Xylar 9 glowed around them, alive and vibrant, welcoming them to a future filled with adventure, learning, and friendship that crossed worlds. Alex felt a strange mixture of relief and excitement as he walked through the now quiet streets of the alien marketplace. The earlier chaos had settled, leaving a calm that felt almost unreal after the intense chase and negotiations with the collectors. Lyra scampered beside him, her tiny legs moving quickly, her eyes sparkling with delight. The small companion, perched happily on her shoulder, occasionally peeked at Alex, chirping in a soft, rhythmic tone that seemed almost like a greeting. For Alex, the past few days had been a whirlwind. From accidentally purchasing the love companion to navigating alien customs and escaping threats, he had learned more about the alien world than he had expected in a lifetime. But now, in this quiet moment, he realized that his adventures had changed him. He had begun to understand alien emotions, loyalty, and the importance of connections that went beyond words or transactions. Lyra paused suddenly and turned to Alex. "Thank you," she said, her small voice filled with sincerity. Alex smiled, unsure how to respond at first. Humans often struggled to express such simple yet deep emotions directly. "You're welcome," he finally replied, shrugging slightly, though his heart felt warm. Lyra tilted her head and smiled, clearly understanding that this human could be trusted. The companion, sensing the ease in the atmosphere, hopped from Lyra's shoulder onto Alex's arm. It nuzzled his hand gently, its small body vibrating slightly in what seemed like happiness. Alex laughed softly, reaching out to pat its tiny head. He realized that although he had intended to return the companion long ago, the bond between them had already begun to form. The little creature, Lyra, and he had become a team, an unlikely trio brought together by accident but now bound by trust and friendship. As they continued walking, Lyra explained more about her world. "This market," she said, gesturing, with her tiny hands, "is special. We bring joy, goods, and ideas from many planets here, but most importantly, we bring connections." Alex nodded, absorbing the meaning behind her words. It was not just a place for trading objects, but also for sharing cultures, emotions, and experiences. And in this exchange, he had accidentally become part of something much larger than himself. They reached a small plaza at the center of the market, where a gentle fountain of glowing liquid flowed. Lyra climbed onto a small bench, motioning for Alex to sit beside her. The companion curled up in her lap, blinking at him with curious eyes. Alex sat down, taking a moment to breathe. The market, which had seemed so overwhelming just days ago, now felt like a place of wonder and possibility. I never expected any of this, Alex said quietly, watching the fountain ripple under the soft lights. I came here to trade for technology, not to this. He gestured vaguely at the companion and Lyra. She laughed softly, a sound that was light and musical, like the tinkling of tiny bells. Sometimes, she said, the universe has plans we do not see. You think you are doing one thing, but the world brings you something else, something important. Alex looked at the companion, then back at Lyra, and realized how true her words were. The small creature had taught him patience, understanding, and the unexpected joy of caring for another being. Lyra had shown him the depth of her culture, her traditions and the warmth of her people, and in return he had been able to offer courage, guidance, and friendship, qualities that seemed universal, no matter the planet. After a while, Lyra stood and stretched, her energy still seemingly endless. I want to show you something, she said, taking his hand and leading him down a narrow path lined with glowing plants and hanging lanterns. The companion scurried ahead, as if guiding the way. Alex followed, curious and eager to see what she wanted to reveal. They arrived at a small building constructed from crystal-like materials that shimmered under the light. Inside, the walls displayed intricate patterns of history, culture, and achievements of her people. Lyra gestured toward a section where images of companions bonding with their owners were displayed. These, she said proudly, are the bonds we cherish most. Each companion teaches us something about love, trust, and friendship. And now, you have experienced it too. Alex felt a sense of humility wash over him. He had entered this world as an outsider, expecting nothing but a simple trade. Instead, he had discovered a culture that valued emotion, connection, and loyalty in ways humans often overlooked. He looked at Lyra and the companion, feeling a profound sense of gratitude. I think I understand now, he said softly. It's not just about owning or trading things. It's about the relationships we form. Lyra smiled, stepping closer. Yes, and now you are part of our story too. The companion chirped happily as if in agreement. Alex laughed, feeling a deep warmth in his chest. The bond he shared with both Lyra and the tiny creature had grown into something unbreakable, a connection that transcended language, species, and worlds. Days passed, and Alex stayed longer than he had planned in the alien marketplace. He helped Lyra with her stall, learning more about the intricate items she traded, the customs of her people, and even a few words in her language. The companion became a constant presence by his side, demonstrating cleverness and affection that amazed him daily. Lyra's joy and laughter were infectious, and Alex found himself genuinely enjoying each day in this alien world. One evening, as they watched the twin suns set over the horizon, Lyra turned to Alex and said, "You know you could stay longer. The world outside can wait a little. Here we can learn from each other." Alex smiled, considering her words. For the first time in a long while, he felt no rush, no pressing obligations, only the beauty of the moment and the value of connection. I think I would like that, Alex said finally. Lyra's eyes sparkled brighter than ever. The companion chirped happily, bouncing lightly on her shoulder. Together, the three of them watched the suns dip below the horizon, feeling a quiet but powerful sense of unity. In the days that followed, Alex became a bridge between humans and Lyra's people. He shared human ideas, skills, and stories, while learning about alien traditions, arts, and ways of life. The companion, now fully bonded with Lyra, became a symbol of this friendship and collaboration. Alex realized that sometimes accidents could lead to the most meaningful adventures, and the most unexpected bonds could teach the greatest lessons. As he prepared to leave the market finally, Alex felt a gentle nudge from the companion. He smiled, down at it, understanding the silent message. Friendship, trust, and loyalty transcended worlds. Lyra hugged him tightly, whispering, Come back soon. There is still so much to show you. Alex nodded, feeling a warmth that made him confident he would return. With a final wave, Alex boarded his ship, carrying memories, lessons, and bonds that would last a lifetime. The tiny alien girl waved until he disappeared from sight, and the companion chirped a farewell that sounded almost like a song. Alex knew that the adventure was far from over. It had only just begun. As his ship lifted off, he looked back at the alien marketplace, glowing under the light of the twin suns. He realized that this unexpected journey had not only introduced him to new worlds, but also revealed the enduring strength of friendship, kindness, and humanity. And with that thought, he smiled, ready for whatever awaited him next, knowing that some of the most valuable treasures in the universe could not be bought, only shared and cherished.